Or is it working? We're good? Oh my goodness! Okay, you're not gonna believe this. I have been trying to make this episode for like 3.5 hours, and I keep getting this stupid spam emails or something. There's like, you know what they do on Halloween? They're like, oh, you're haunted, spooky, scary things. Don't record podcasts by midnight. And I'm just like, oh, like it's just, it's been so frustrating. I'm sorry, I don't have any cool like funny jokes to enter the episode, but let's roll into it. Woo! Wait, what? What's going on? What's that? Yeah! Hi! Happy Halloween, boys and girls. Was that spooky or what? This is a super scary episode of Over the Fence. You know, the one where your weird neighbor just starts screaming weird noises. Like, what was that? Was that a pig? I don't go to farm. I don't frequent the farmhouse, but, maybe. Anyways, happy Halloween. This is Over the Fence. My name is Tristan Sartoris, and it is 10 minutes before midnight / Halloween. Okay? There is a full moon arising, and that means nothing good but werewolves. I hope you love that awesome intro that took me minutes to create. It was actually really cool. I started getting really into it. And I used to run a podcast before where we did a whole like creative narrative story and stuff like that with all these sound effects. And it's cool. Sound effects are awesome. There's something about sound effects that just really, really grabs hold, especially when you can do like spooky stuff. Like watch this. Lightning! Oh! Isn't that cool? It's going to be done in post. So for me, it wasn't as awesome, but you just heard something cool. And that's just what it is. So happy Halloween to whoever is out there listening and feeling the spooky vibes. Okay, just let that October wind wash over you right now, wherever you are. And actually, wherever you are, I don't care if you're driving, pull over, step outside, just feel that cool, brisk October wind blowing. Feel the leaves crunching, the waves, the trees blow. Ooh, there's a spookiness in the air. The ghosts, the witches, all kinds of weird sounds. You have no idea. There's some dangers out there in the world, okay? I'm not talking about some real life stuff, some fictional, some fun. I hated Halloween for the longest time. I was like, spookiness, that's bad. That's negative. That's negative stuff, and that's like the devil, and that's darkness. And I don't want to be darkness. I want to be a shining light. And I'm not making fun of that. That was a good thing. That was a good thing on my child mind. But it was later in life that I was like, oh, you can appreciate it and have fun. And while I'm still not really into horror, I love like the spookiness of it. I love, like little decorations, like Casper the Friendly Ghost. That's probably the best. I don't mean I'm only like, okay, you blah blah blah. Okay, let me try and rephrase this. I'm not super into like horror, like killer, weird, sinister stuff, or whatever you want to call it. But like this, just the spooky stuff, the spooky decorations, the spiders and the weird ghosts and witches and all kinds of fun stuff. I got super into it. Later in life, I started doing this little animation thing that we were voicing over. And again, it was just like a little, and this that intro kind of brought me back into it. Just ooh, there's just a love. There's a fun love for Halloween, and I can't help but just feel it, just feel alive. Halloween's a good time, and I think a lot of people take it for granted. And I wish I didn't as a younger child. Even though those thoughts were really positive and great, I quit trick-or-treating when I was like 11, and that was sad for me looking back, mostly because I didn't get as much candy. But You can always enjoy Halloween. You don't have to go trick-or-treating to enjoy Halloween now. And maybe I should try and go trick-or-treating now, but I just feel like I'm a bit too large that people might catch on. But I hope your Halloween is amazing. I hope it's filled with good smells and candy, and I hope your Halloween, the call to Halloween, that spooky, that little scary call we all feel once a year. I hope it's great. All right. I hope your costume is awesome. Whether you're dressed up like It the Clown or Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. All right. It can all be done. Here's the thing. No matter what costume you have, anybody can be anybody, right? Like Larry from Pharmaceuticals might be dressing up as a wild hog, right? Like some cool motorcycle dude. He's just letting out the inside. And maybe Halloween's a way for us to reach our full potential without embracing it too much. Right? Like you're afraid of taking on a certain persona, and you look into the mirror and you're like, I gotta make a change. And you want to see a difference in your life. And you're like, I don't know if I'm willing to fully commit. You walk in there, let's say this guy who's just feeling down on himself, and he wants to be a motorcycle guy. He wants to be tatted up. He wants a nice goatee and wear a bandana, looking like Hulk Hogan. He could do that on Halloween and just kind of gauge the room. You walk in there, Larry, and start checking prescriptions. All of a sudden, they're like, dang, that's a really good look. And Larry starts to build confidence in himself. He's like, this is what I wanted, because he wants to see that. Larry wants to be that guy. Because Larry does care what other people think. All right? Larry doesn't make his own choices. He lets people decide his fate for him, and Halloween might just be a way for him to do that. So now Larry's got this cool leather jacket, and he goes out there and spends way too much money on a nice hog. Or it could go the complete opposite direction and be like, dude, that's a great costume. Could you imagine how ridiculous you would be if that's what you actually looked like? And then Larry goes, yes. And he gets sad. But there's a give and take. There's definitely a give and take if you're trying to go that route. But there are Larrys out there, and that's a real story. There's so many people in the world that has actually happened. Without a doubt. There's someone who's really trying to commit himself this Halloween. And if you're listening to the podcast right now, I would say, Larry, don't care what other people think. Make your own choices. If that's you, if you're a Hulk Hogan, motorcycle riding, leather jack wearing son of a gun, then just do it, man. Just rock and roll, okay? I mean, unless you're not into rock and roll, but still, like if that's you, whoever's you, embrace it. Whoever you are, embrace it. Unless you're a serial killer, because that is something you should probably hide. Halloween is a serial killer's holiday, unfortunately. I keep trying to say it's a glorious and perfect and amazing kind of place where people can just embrace themselves, but there's some spooky people. There's some real life horror in the world. And I don't mean to be too dark, but that's a sad truth. And they're out there, and they're just like, dang, finally we can blend in. This guy you could have some guy walking around feeling a little weird, feeling like, I don't mean I'm not about to be too dark, but I'm just saying, I live in Ohio, and we're notorious for a big serial killer and one man, Jeffrey Dahmer. Now, people don't like to talk about him too much. I can probably guess why. But I'm sure he felt good on Halloween. I'm sure he felt included for once. People walking around with bones around their neck, body parts and pig snouts. I'm sure Jeffrey Dahmer finally felt like he could relate to people. And that's beautiful, okay? That's beautiful that a man with weird hobbies and such, before the killings I'm talking about, and because he wasn't a bad kid before. He just liked bones. He just liked bones and stuff like that. That's not too, actually. Okay, it's a little weird, but the point is that even people with weird habits or tendencies might finally feel included. Because in life, we're all so cliquey. We all got our little groups of people that we flock to and we sit around and the freaks need somebody. Now if you're a serial killer, you probably I got no words for you. You probably shouldn't do that. Stop it. Wash your mouth. Wash your hands. Get out of here. Point is, okay, I'm sorry, listen, I was going down a dark path. Not me personally, but in my comedy route, and I forgot, dark humor is not always as perceived as well. So I hit a little U-turn real quick, because you can talk about that to a certain extent, but then I was like, well, maybe Halloween does suck in that regard. If it makes serial killers and horrible people feel alive, like you're enabling them, like some weirdo in the night, it's just like, oh yeah, this is my time. This is my people. I feel like that's horrible, But serial killers are people too. No, see, that's one of those jokes you shouldn't make. You shouldn't say stuff like that. But it is what it is, and that is the truth. Serial killers have families. They've got the family business that they're trying to get their kids into. Can you imagine? All right, I guess we're going down the dark humor route. Can you imagine a serial killer trying to get his son to buy into the family business? Son, you must kill to survive. Dad, I don't want to do that. I want to go watch SpongeBob. Son, you must give in to your angers. Dad, I'm not particularly angry right now. And then he's got to make him angry, right? He's got to give his kid an edge. So he starts, the dad is the monster under the bed. He hides in the kid's closet, scares him at midnight and stuff like that. He's the kid runs to his family's bed in the middle of the night scared of monsters. And his dad walks out with a mask. He's like, yeah, there you go. That's horrible. And that's sad, but had to have happened sometime. It's just trying to give his kids an edge. That's horrible. Horrible. You shouldn't say stuff like that. That's that weird neighbor over the fence. What are you gonna do? But the thing is, there are people like that, and I feel bad for that kid, and I hope he's doing all right, and I hope he doesn't give in to his things. That's horrible. He's just the dad is freaking growling under the bed. The toys that he gives him as a child is just little plastic knives and dumb stuff like that. The only toy store he goes to is Party City, Halloween decorations. What's your favorite movie? Scream 4. I've never seen I would have thought of something better. I've never seen horror movies. I don't really watch any horror movies, and that's not because I'm scared of them. I just don't find them super interesting. I feel like most stories is just, and I can say this now because I haven't really watched any, that it's just everyone dies for the most part, right? Isn't that how those go? Someone's runs and they go, I'm stuck. And the guy goes, and he goes, no, Johnny, come help me. And he goes, and Johnny was trying to be brave. He's trying to be a good boyfriend. And he gets scared and he runs. He's like, no. And he dies. And then she dies. And they both die. And I feel like it's predictable. And I can say that now. A lot of horror movie critics and fans are going to be like, dude, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. And probably so. I just don't. The It movies though. The It movies, I do know had a deep story and stuff like that, and that's interesting. This guy that comes back every 30 years or something like that, and something that's story wise. I love narrative. That's interesting. But if it's just generic like weak sauce Halloween stuff, yeah, it's just it's too predictable. It's too whatever. But it's Halloween. I guess Halloween's the time to do that. Halloween, actually, you know what Halloween was? It's supposed to be just the Day of the Dead, right? It's supposed to be the celebration of the dead people. And that's not what we do. We hate death. We hate it. It's so, death is popular. It's all around us. It's going around, but we hate it. We don't ever celebrate it here. That's only in certain cultures. I've never seen anybody come around here and celebrate death. And maybe we should be. Maybe we should be given more credit. It's not like you're celebrating the death of them. That's some more dark stuff. You don't see somebody at the funeral home going, woohoo! Hated that some gun. That you get thrown out real fast. But celebrating the life of the people that had, and remembering them and feeling and being grateful for life. I don't know if that's part of it, but we should be grateful for life because we are grateful, right? You should be happy you're alive, no matter how bad things are. And we're about to get real inspirational and motivational here, all right? No matter how bad things are, right? Be grateful you're taking a breath. Because no matter how bad things have ever been, no matter how, you have a near-death experience, you come back out and you feel grateful. No one's ever had a near-death experience and go, oh, so close, right? That just doesn't happen. It's in those moments that we realize how much we do cherish life, right? It's not one of those things where you're driving and then all of a sudden you have to sneeze and you're just, and then you barely miss a car and like, oh, so close. No, you're grateful. You're grateful for that. You're like, dang, I've cheated death once more. By the way, sneezing while driving, like that should be way up on the list of dangers that people do not account for. I can't tell you how many times you're driving like in close packed traffic and all of a sudden the sun hits the freaking windshield just right. All of a sudden you feel that little tickle in your nose and you start bending, your eyes start closing. No matter how bad you want to keep looking at the road, you can't. Your eyes have to close while sneezing. There's a split second while you're driving. You could be going around a bend for all I know. There's all kinds of different hazards while driving. There could be someone, not to be too dark again, but there could be someone crossing the road. There could be anything that could happen in the 1 second. How many accidents happen all the time? How many accidents? Just by 1 second split decisions. That could happen while sneezing. I get scared. That's a Halloween thought right there. Every time I'm driving and I have to sneeze, I fear for my life. It's horrible. And I don't think people could think about that often. Let's just say this, when you go driving, you better make sure there's not a lot of dust around. Or you better make sure you have somebody near that's going to say, bless you. Because it gets scary. And that's not to be, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not to be overlooked. Okay? And you know what I'm talking about. You probably didn't realize it until I just said it right there and you're like, holy crap. How many close calls have I had so far? Too many. Okay, so be safe out there this Halloween, especially with the full moon. And I don't know if the moon makes you sneeze like the sun does, but just in case, be safe out there while you're trick-or-treating and such. Because you might feel safe on the sidewalk too, dressed in your Spider-Man outfit, but little do you know that Larry the pharmacist is riding around on his chopper and something's just tickling up in his nostrils right now. I'm just saying, everybody look out, okay? Be safe out there. I wish nothing but the best for you guys. You hear me? Nothing but the best. Man, trick-or-treating. What I would do to go trick-or-treating, I probably will. I think I'm not done. I know I'm not done trick-or-treating. I've got more in the tank, like an athlete. I got one more year in me. And I think I've got at least 3 years of trick-or-treating solid left. I just got to figure out when I'm going to use them. It's got to be something I got to really use and maybe have the right costume for. Not this year. I'm not prepared. It's something you got to build up to, and you have to know ahead of time, right? You can't just come out of retirement like that, all right? I was like the Megatron, all right? If you know football, Calvin Johnson. I was the Megatron of trick-or-treating. I had it on lock. One-handed, that's Odell, but just making incredible catches. Even the houses that didn't have their lights on, you're like, dude, you shouldn't go there. I don't think they want you to knock on. They're like, no, they're going to knock. And they might not be expecting me, but they see me rocking an all Ninja Turtles costume. They see me dressed up as a robber and with a made-up superhero name like Beetle Man. I got candy. It didn't no matter who you were dropping candy in my little pumpkin bucket. That's the truth. I was great trick-or-treating. I was awesome. And I'm sad that I retired. I gave up too soon. And that's sad. One of the best to ever do it. Yeah, there's just so many good candies. So many good candies out there. And while it's nice to be able to just buy candy, right? Buying candy's cool and all. There's nothing like getting something for free. But not even for free. It's like you earned it, right? When you come home and you just dump out that giant bucket full of wafers and milk chocolate and other stuff, Laffy Taffy. You ever had a Laffy Taffy? I've never seen a Laffy Taffy, I don't think, outside of trick-or-treating. Or those little, those little candies. They're little colored ones. They come in like red, orange, black, purple. There's no logo. There's no name on it. There's nothing on nothing on the wrapper. I don't know what you would even call it. I have no idea what it would be. I've never seen those outside of my trick-or-treating bucket. You can't buy them anywhere. I'm convinced they do not exist. It's some sort of weird spiritual thing that only happens on the 31st. But you know what I'm talking about. Everyone listening here knows what I'm talking about. I've never seen them. I've never seen them anywhere. And they're super dense and hard, like some sort of weird caramel, taffy, chocolate something. But it's super hard and sticky. It was like, I don't even know how to describe it. But when you bit into it, it was just like, it's that kind of thing that will wire your jaw shut. Right? It's that dental grout. It's that cement for your teeth, all right? Like you bite down to that thing, you're not going to be opening your mouth right after it. It's that sticky and so dense. It was really good, but they were just I don't know what they were. I couldn't even you know what I'm talking about. I haven't even thought about these because again, I retired from the game so long ago. But I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them anywhere out there. I don't know. That's a weird man, but those things were so sticky. Goodness gracious. Talking about being the Megatron of trick-or-treating. You put those on your gloves, that like before Stickum, that's what they used. That's what Stickum was. Stickum was that candy. They're just ultimate one-handed catchers. It was some sort of science experiment. That's all we know. That's all we know about it. But we'll have to wait until I get back into the game. And I'll report back further. But yeah, those things, they were something else, man. Candy. Candy's just good. And you know what? Maybe I was wrong. It does taste good to try and earn your candy. It does taste good. It feels good. It feels like with every bite you can taste the effort. And you can taste the satisfaction and such. But candy's just good. No lie. I won't lie. I'm saying it's great when you earn it, when you fight for it and you get it yourself. But candy's good no matter what. I've been trying to eat right, but God help me, it's not working too great. I'm still pigging out. I'm pigging out like I wish I never had before. And it's all candy all the time. My problem is all these little spooky things, the little spooky packaging they put on here at the store. And I see these things and I go, dang, that probably tastes like I can buy that satisfaction without having to earn it. And I get it. I eat a whole bag of it. And, you eat so much candy like that, I should probably be wearing a diaper. That's probably a bit gross or scary. Yeah, I could just say anything I want. Just say, ooh, that's scary. Right? Just be like, dude, this dude's wearing a diaper. Ooh. What's up with his diaper? Brother still needs his mom to wipe his butt. That's spooky. Having your own butt wiped, that's scary. Or very uncomfortable. I know you're uncomfortable, but I'm going to keep on talking about it. Fast forward if you need to. But do you remember having someone wipe your butt? I don't mean that as a complete joke, but I don't. I don't know if anyone, maybe is it a traumatic experience? I don't think so. I don't think my parents used sandpaper on me or anything like that. Charmin fresh, baby. No pun intended. But I don't know. Does anybody remember that? Is that something you remember? Like, I remember, my memories go really far back that I would be not capable of wearing just straight cotton Hanes or anything like that. Like, I remember that, but I don't remember anyone ever cleaning me like that. And I don't know if that's because of my memories go back that far, or if like the human brain is just incapable of remembering someone else, Oh, holy crap. Every single file, everything in this podcast just got deleted. The app just closed entirely on me. That was scary. Ooh, that gets your heart racing. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, getting your butts wiped. Yeah, you wish I would have forgot that. So me too. But I just don't remember. I remember other people needing their butt cheeks cleaned up a little bit. Wiped through. I remember my friend needing that. And, it's kind of props to parents, right? To be able to do that. I've never changed a diaper. I've never cleaned that, but I can only imagine, like, especially if your kid gets older, because he was older than me, and he was able to use the bathroom on his own and everything like that. But when he was done, he would just yell for his parents, and yeah, but I don't remember that happening to me, but I remember other people needing it still. I remember that. I was like, that was weird. He's 6 years old or however old he is and still needs that. That's got to be hard as a parent too. Just cranking one out and then you just hear, Mom, I need you. Oh, God bless every parent. That's hard. And whether down the line it's my own children or someone's, I don't know who else I would be cleaning up. So, yeah, never mind. The point is, props to people who did that, especially if your kid needed that later on. That's rough. It's also, I remember, like, just recently when I was talking about how I broke my wrist, it's not easy to wipe yourself. You're all right. It's not easy to wipe your butt cheeks off and clean yourself up real nice with a broken wrist. I didn't have proper wrist dexterity that I could, so I had to use my left hand, and it's hard enough to try and eat left-handed. I hope you're not eating right now, but it was difficult, and you learn a lot about yourself in those moments, about perseverance and determination and creativity and ingenuity and all kinds of the good things like that. There's a lot you can tell. You know what? I'm done. I quit. We're done with this conversation. Yeah. Happy Halloween. So that's spooky. See, you could say that's gross and all you want, but that's what Halloween's about. Halloween's about all that stuff, whether it's dark or gross. Am I old enough that I probably shouldn't have potty humor? Maybe, but I don't care. It's scary, right? Someone had to be scared during that. Yeah. So that was a fun little turn we took. But I'm sure you were scared, so it all works out. Scary. You want to talk about being scared? I used to be so afraid as a child. I was scarred beyond belief. Okay. So back when jump scares and YouTube and stuff like that was first becoming a thing, like people would find out about them and show them to their younger siblings, I was the younger sibling. So my oldest brother, Carlton, and the neighbors across the street, they would find these things and they'd be like, let's go show this a video. And it's just like some innocent little song lyrics or some dude at like a security camera or whatever, driving across the dunes. I don't know what it could be, but those things when you're like 7 years old or whatever, when your friends are literally still needing bathroom maintenance help, little exchange right there. I was being jump scared. I should have probably been wearing a diaper at this time. The point is, they showed so many of these to me over and over and over again. And these people were trying scaring me as just a little kid. I was just scarred. I was so terrified of this stuff. And I remember right after we were done, and people were telling me all these stories about how scary it was to be in the bathroom alone and stuff like that. And I'm not making this up. As soon as they got done explaining this to me, and I was so scared, I was like, all right, we're just going to go play outside and try and forget about this. The second I stepped out, I tripped off the rug outside of our door and fell into the mud like a freaking cartoon, like a weird story. I tripped in the mud and it was getting dark and I had to go inside and I had to take a shower. I had to go in like literally seconds after they said, you never want to be in the bathroom alone. It's too, there's horrible things and it's haunted, whatever, blah, blah, blah. As a little kid, you believe that. You believe whatever the older people say. And I trip in the mud. The poor soul inside of me was so terrified and scared, and my unfortunate crappy luck that I would fall. Into the mud, and I'd have to go immediately into the bathroom, which I was terrified again. And for years after that, I would go into the basement for like 20 seconds and be proud of myself because I would run down there when I was like 8 years old and whatever. It went on for a while. And I would run down, I'm like, did you see that, Mom? Did you see how brave I was? And stuff like that. So it's spooky. So I'm not a big fan of horror. I'm not scared of anything now because I do wear diapers and I'm prepared. No, I'm just not really spooked out by stuff. Not to say it's impossible. I'm just saying it's not the reason I don't watch scary movies or don't take a liking to it. I've just never been interested, but I do have a history of being terrified, and I forgot about that. So be nice to your younger siblings, and don't bring up potty humor unless you're trying to be spooky. And there was a lot of dark humor in this. There's a lot of random crap. Point is, spooky, trick-or-treating. Man, so many good things about Halloween. If you get a chance to listen to this while you still have time left, all right, it is the 31st, you got this day, just take a moment, everybody. Take a moment to experience it and feel it, not with the dark and the bad, but just the good. Feel the goodness, the spook, the great things about Halloween that I tried to explain here in this episode, whether I did a good job of that or not. You can feel it and appreciate your life, right? Appreciate those near-death experiences and those close calls and the candy bags and the earned treats and the winds and the leaves, and feel good about the fall because tomorrow, technically, I'm not going to talk about it, but November and Christmas, those, December, those are my Christmas season, so we're going to talk about that soon. But that's not the point. The point is this podcast's over because you got to get back to living, all right? We have no time. You're about to celebrate the death, celebrate remembrance, and celebrate life, all right? Be grateful, all right? Feel it and enjoy the Halloween, enjoy the spooky season. That's my best evil laughter. I couldn't do it in the mic because it was going to peek out. My point is, thank you so much for listening to it. Enjoy your Halloween. I love you. See you next episode for No Shave November. Okay, bye, spooky. Peace.